heard it last night too.
Yeah. All right,
Coach, if we can have you start with the opening statement.
A proud moment for Randolph-Macon baseball and for all the men that have donned this uniform under Hugh Stevens, Greg Waters, and over the last 20 years. We talk a lot about the standard and upholding the standard in everything that we do. And, these two men to my left and right and the men behind this building here really did an excellent job all weekend of upholding the standard and playing at a level that I am quite sure made former players very, very happy and everyone back in Ashland.
All right, Myles, if we start with you, talk about your at-bat there in the third. We had it 2-0 lead when you came up there. Talk about your approach on that base hit up the middle.
Well, I'm going to start with my first at-bat. I came up with the bases loaded, and I didn't execute. I came through. I didn't do a double play. Yes, a run scored, but that's a moment where we could have scored more runs and kind of helped our pitching staff out early on. So my second at-bat, I decided I was going to see some pitches. I was going to try and work a count. And then I believe it was the second or the third pitch. I got something I could handle, and I just shot a ball right back up the middle. And my teammates were lucky enough to come around and score.
Talk about the team's defense through the whole weekend, just one error in 3 games.
I was very proud of the guys. I mean, we take a lot of time and effort put into defense to try and make sure we do the small things and do the details correct. You're out here doing PFPs, fly ball comm, tandems, number drills, stuff of that sort on our practice day, and I believe we reap the rewards because of it.
Okay. Michael, talk about first when you came in the 8th, they bring the tying run to the plate with 2 away, and then you get the comebacker. Talk about the approach there.
Yeah, it was really just, it came down to the whole week working up to this, where Dunn and Fletch, and they all come with an approach, and we work on it for the week ahead, and you just got to go up there and one pitch at a time and execute. And I executed the pitch, it came back, and it's really, you can throw very confidently with the defense we have. So you just attack, and the ball came back to me, just made a play. And it's amazing to throw with that defense, like they said, with the work we put in defensively and the preparation. You can go out there with full confidence any pitch.
Talk about taking the mound in the 9th, first time this season that you've gone out there in a safe situation. Just talk about your mental approach and then kind of how the inning unfolded.
Yeah, the mental approach for that, it's really, I just try to take every pitch, one pitch at a time, go 1-0 on every pitch, and I didn't want to let anything get too big, so I just focused on that one pitch that was called and do the best to make that one pitch, and the next one came after that. So, and the at-bat folded, there was a few close ones, and my cutter was feeling really good, so just attacked with my strength, and it worked out, and now we're here.
Coach, can you talk about Michael's progression, especially over this last month?
I said it last night. I mean, Mike and I have had really good conversations in our 3 years together in Ashland, and we had a pretty intense one about a month and a half ago where he was very passionate about his work ethic and his preparation with Coach Fletcher and Coach Dunn, and where we were struggling with some consistency, strike throwing, free 90s. He wanted the baseball, and I let him tell me how he felt, and I accepted responsibility for very few opportunities that he'd received to that point. And there's no greater story right now on this team than Mike Shanahan, because he has been his biggest advocate over 3 years. I think sometimes students get a little bit nervous about speaking up and advocating for themselves, not knowing what kind of response they'll get on the other side. But he and I have built a strong relationship over 3 years, and he knows he can come to me and tell me when he thinks he's being wronged or something's not going right, I should say, and I have to be the adult and the mentor to be able to listen and understand where I can be better, and the program benefited from that conversation because Mike Shanahan has just taken that and run with it over the past 6 weeks. It's just been phenomenal. I could not be prouder of Mike and everything that he's done for Randolph-Macon baseball.
All right, this is for each of you, and I'm going to start with you, Coach. Lost a lot of major contributors from a year ago, had some challenges through the season with injuries, with contributors going down. Was there ever a point during the season when you thought that this was a team that could win a regional?
Yes, because we talked about the standard and upholding the standard. And, you talk about the players that we lost last year, most of which through graduation, the draft, but we lost assistant coaches too, right? I mean, we have, a staff of 3.5, 4 with Dunn. But but 2 of those guys moved on to other opportunities professionally, which is what I'm proud of, right? With just our program does a really good job of not only developing players but developing coaches. So those 2 men moved on, and one in the fall and one in the winter, respectively. And then, as you pointed out, just injuries and just things that happen over the course of a season, right? Just baseball stuff. But I saw this team play really good baseball against the likes of North Carolina Wesleyan, against the likes of Christopher Newport, although we lost 1 and won 1, against the likes of Salisbury. We really only had 2 bad weekends all year where we just were a dud, and we didn't have that edge. The Roanoke weekend and then in the conference championships where, we ran against 2 teams that played in a super regional last year who have 5th and in some cases 6th-year guys. But other than that, over the course of 15, 16 weeks, these guys have been consistent. There might have been a few hiccups here and there. Averett weekend, Bridgewater weekend, where we lost opportunities, but I've believed in these men. I believed in our seniors. I'm very. Anyone that watches this will tell you I demand a lot out of our seniors. I hold them to a very high standard, but that's why we continue to be successful, regardless of who comes and goes. The next senior class steps up, and guys like Myles and guys like Grayson Bush and the other 11 senior Richie Dudley played a lot this weekend. It just. Yes, I know that sounds crazy, but I did believe this team could compete into the season, just given the leadership and the belief in the standard.
Myles, any specific point during the season when you thought this was a regional team?
I'm always confident in my guys to my left and my right, but I think it really starts in our workouts in January. I'd put our workouts up toe-to-toe against any other team in the nation and how hard we work preparing for the season. So, going into that and then having confidence in your guys, how do you not believe in yourself?
Michael, can you talk about it from a pitcher's point of view?
Yeah, from a staff standpoint, I really knew we were legit back in the fall when we played VCU. We would come in, we put all different arms in. I think I was the last out, and then, but we, from start of the game to the end of the game, it was just everybody came in, everybody did their job, and everybody's talent showed, and we are a deep, talented staff, and everybody just executes their role they're put in, and everyone embraces their role. So we're going to go really far with this stuff.
Yeah, and we have some good arms that didn't even throw this weekend, and that's the crazy thing. We've got some really talented arms that Cole Stam has had 8 to 10 saves over the course of a season, and he didn't throw this weekend. The situation didn't dictate that he needed to. And Gavin Tomlin and Wyatt Stanley and Patrick Rootsis, another senior. So we had some really talented guys. I'm sure I left somebody out, and I apologize, but some really talented guys that didn't even touch the mound. That if we're going to win a best-of-3 series next weekend at location TBA, we're going to need all hands on deck, and we're going to need to pitch at a very high level.
All right, that's good.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.